Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today we are going to be finishing up making our Running with Scissors bag by Annie. I'm really excited to share this one with you. This was another one of those wonderful projects that I love to do from Annie. If you'd like to use the same fabric I used, fabric kits are available on my website, and I'll put my website down here so that you can see that. Stay tuned if you'd like to see exactly how I finished up my Running with Scissors bag by Annie. Hi, I'm Margaret Lewin and welcome to Margaret Lewin Quilting. Today we're going to be concentrating on putting pocket D, which is the vinyl F and H, down. And then we're going to put our center facing down. Then we're going to attach our A and B on the other side. And the final thing we'll be doing is adding our zipper. So let's get going and see what we're going to do first. I think according to the directions, the first thing we have to do is D, which is this vinyl piece. So I'm just going to remove these that are all set up to go. And I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to stitch all the way across here and then all the way down here. Not here, here. So that I will have this piece totally affixed properly. Then I'll come back and show you the placement for the next one. Alright, I've attached this. Let me move my zipper in so that I don't forget about that. I want to make sure all my zippers are in right now so that I don't miss any of them. So the next thing that we need to attach is what I believe is F, which is the plastic again, the vinyl pouch. And then we attach H. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sew this all the way around first. Then I will come back and attach H to it. I'm very well aware of the fact that we probably could just put all of these layers together and do it. But Annie says to do it by steps, and I'm going to follow Annie's instructions only because she doesn't usually tell us to do something unless we really need to do it that way. I do also need to make marks across here for the pockets because these are going to turn into pockets just like this side did. So I'm going to mark my pockets. I'm going to take both of these over to the sewing machine, but I will sew them one at a time, and then I'll come back and show you what I did. Alright, at this stage is when you need to put your handle on. We all remember that I've already done it. My handle's right here. So the next thing we're supposed to do is we want the C, E, and G, I believe they are, pockets facing us, and then we're just going to flip this over just like that. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our pocket A. Remember, pocket A has the binding or the border fabric on it, or binding fabric, whichever you want to call it. And we're going to now attach that to the entire bag. Alright? So I'm pinning this together, and then how I will sew it is I will sew, being careful that my zipper's inside, I will sew directly across here, down one side, across, back up again. Alright? And then we will be sewing pocket B on in the same manner. So I'm going to go sew pocket A and B on, and then I'll come back and we will proceed. Okay, I've done all of the things I said I was going to get done, and now what I'm doing is just showing you how I go about trimming my corners. I just use an empty spool of thread and will mark on it. Then I'll pick up a pair of hand scissors and just cut around the corner. I do go back to my sewing machine and reseal those corners because I do believe that it makes a difference that 1/8 of an inch stitch is all the way around the outside of it. So that's how I do that. Here, now you can see how I go about cutting it. I wanted to show you a clip on how I do go about clipping the zipper down. I do have it face down to the inside of my bag, and Annie's directions on how to put the zipper down in this instance, well, in all instances, are absolutely excellent. You will not have one bit of a problem putting the zipper in the way she describes it in her instruction manual. It just won't cause you any problems. It's pretty simple. So this is how I go about doing that. Now I'm going to go on and show you what it looks like once I have it all sewn in. Alright, I ended up going to one zipper. Annie's right, this does not need two zippers. So what I've done is I've taken my zipper and I've brought it in and adhered it down. I went right across, basted. I'm going to next add my center facing. So to do that, what I'm going to do is lay it across here, so it's going right across this zipper here, and I'm going to put a wonder clip on it. Then I'm going to take it all the way out to here, and I'm going to put another wonder clip on it, and then I'm just going to sew it. Now, in the directions on how to put the zipper down, Annie is spot on with her directions. You really shouldn't have any problems. She walks you right through how to have the bag situated when you go to put the zipper on and how to do it. There's no problems there. Everything was really straightforward. So here is my zipper on, and I'm getting ready to put the facing tape on. So I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back and explain if I had any issues whatsoever, so that you guys will know what to do in the event that you go to have issues. I'll be right back. Alright, so I've sewn this on. Just take note that what happens is you sew it right over your zipper there. Then down here on this end, I still have to sew right across there because they tell you to do that. And they tell you to flip the zipper in, measure it, and sew your zipper end on it. So that's where I'm at right now. I am going to take this out because I do need to stitch that down. Then once I've done that, stitch this down, I'm going to get my binding made, and then we're going to attach the binding, because at this point, that truthfully is all I have left to do, is just to attach the binding, and it'll be all done. So I'm going to get my binding made, and then I'll be back. We are down to the binding. I've made more than enough binding. But what I'm doing this time is I'm not going to press it. Normally I take it and I press it. This time what I'm going to do is I'm just going to sew it just like this. I wanted to try something different and see how it goes. Now, when I get to this part right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring these two together the very best that I can, and I'm assuming, and we all know, I'm assuming that what I'm going to have to do is stitch up to this point, back stitch, cut my threads, and then start all over again right here, so that my zipper completely is attached and enclosed. That's how I think I have to do it. I'm not 100% certain yet. So for certain, I'll be back to show you how I end up doing that. So what I'm going to do, because I do not want to start right there. To me, that's just asking for trouble. So what I'm going to do is start over here, opposite. I'm going to fold my material, and I'm just going to start stitching 1/4 of an inch all the way around. I will be very careful to make sure that none of my zippers on this side or on this side get in my way. You can see I've moved both of them more towards the center so that they're out of the way. So I'll be back once I get this attached, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to go about stitching it down. Alright, I managed to get it all sewn down, and realistically there were no issues except for over here. You can see I'm a little bit stretched out. I hope it's going to work out the way I want it to, being that this is stretched. Remember, we're dealing with the bias here, so consequently you've got to be careful about stretching it too much. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to top stitch it down. Now, one of the things that we have to be aware of when we're doing this is these corners. Obviously this corner, I'll do it again, it's not fitting around there nicely. So what I'm going to do is trim these corners so that my binding will easily, because obviously it's not easily going around it. So I'm going to trim first, then I'm going to flip my binding around, and then I'm going to top stitch my binding down. And then hopefully, then is all we've got left to do is our zipper pulls. So we're really almost there. So I'll be back. All right, I managed to get all of my binding on. Couple of things that I am going to point out. I did stitch right up to the edge here on this end. I'll move it so you can see a little bit better. So I stitched right up on both sides so that when the bag was open, this would lay flat. So if you put it on the stand, it's, you know, kind of lays just like that. The other thing that I will tell you when doing this is make sure that you've got your zipper either pinned or folded over so that you can absolutely not get your zipper caught in it, because I got my zipper caught in it a couple of times. And I think that was about it. Here's the other side of it. I did not press my binding. You can see I've got threads I still have to clip. I did not press my binding in half before I put this on, and quite honestly the jury's still out on that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that again or not. I guess I need to do another project like this to figure that one out. Just not certain if I'm 100% thrilled with how it turned out. I mean, it looks nice, but it was a little fussy. I think possibly next time I may very well go ahead and press my binding for my outer part. Other than that, it was really straightforward. Annie's directions, as always, were excellent. Here is my little ironing pad, and I ended up cutting mine bigger than what the pattern called for, which was really stupid because now mine doesn't fit in there properly. Well, maybe I can make it. I'm gonna try. Let's see if I can make it zip around it. So let's see what I can do here. See if I can make it fit in here. I'm thinking that it's not going to. Well, maybe it will. I know I made mine a little bit too big. I absolutely know that I did that. So here, well, I can make it fit in there. It doesn't fit perfectly, but I can make it fit. Other than that, it was really, you know, one of Annie's real straightforward bags, and I didn't really have any issues with it. I like to, on my bags, try to do different things with my sewing machine or different techniques, because I think it's a perfect opportunity to learn how to do something like that. So here's my bag. I am extremely pleased with it. It is what I wanted it to be. Now I just can't wait to get it loaded up with some of my notions. I think what I'm going to do is actually use this project bag for my hand sewing. I think this is a perfect fit for that. So if you would like the fabric kit, it is out on my website. The pattern does call for 3/4 of a yard of all three of your fabrics. I did the kits for this bag and for the take a stand bag in 1 yard increments, so you can buy either or in order to make yours. There is a notions kit up there that has all of the notions with the exception of this. This came from out of my stash. It is available on my website if you would like to purchase it, so you may get that. But other than that, I just think it's an adorable bag, and it went together very easily. Now, you know, you just take your time, and it works every time. Annie's patterns are great. So thank you so very much for joining me today. If you haven't already, please do subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments in regards to this bag or any other bag that you would like me to make, please do leave your comment below, and I will see you back here again soon. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye, everybody.